All right, let's just get this out of the way. Forget everything you think you know about AI. Seriously. What we're about to dive into isn't just some minor update. It's a fundamental shift. This is the story of how Google's Gemini 3.0 is changing the entire game by building an AI that doesn't just talk, it acts. Go ahead, circle this date on your calendar, November 18, 2025. According to our source material, this is the day AI history was basically rewritten. And why? Because with the launch of Gemini 3.0, Google didn't just drop a new model. Nope, they unleashed a totally new kind of intelligence on the world. So, what is the big idea here? It's all about this massive leap from oracle to agent. Think about it like this. For years, AI has been like a brilliant but kind of lazy librarian. You know? It can find any book you ask for, sure, but it won't actually read it for you. Gemini 3.0 is a whole different beast. It's not just the librarian, it's your personal research assistant that reads the books, summarizes the key points, and then writes the report for you. But to make a leap that big, AI needed, well, a brain transplant. Okay, so how in the world do you build an AI that's both off the charts brilliant and, doesn't need its own power plant to run? The answer isn't just to build a bigger brain. It's to build a smarter one. And here's how Google cracked that code. This is where the real magic happens. It's a concept called mixture of experts, or MO for short. Just imagine you're building a house. You wouldn't hire one person to do everything, right? Of course not. You'd get a plumber for the pipes, an electrician for the wiring, a carpenter for the framework. That's exactly how MO works. Instead of one giant AI brain trying to juggle everything, you have a whole team of specialized expert brains. And a router acts like the general contractor, sending each task to the perfect specialist for the job. The results? It's way, way faster and a whole lot more efficient. So you've got this incredibly efficient system where every task gets routed to just the right expert, which saves a ton of time and energy. But look, a fast brain is pretty useless if it's not a smart brain, right? So how does Gemini make sure its answers aren't just quick, but actually deep and insightful? Well, that brings us to the next big idea. Now we get to the real heart of it, deepthink. This is basically Google's secret weapon against one of AI's most dangerous habits, its tendency to be a very convincing liar. We've all seen it, right? AI just making stuff up that sounds completely plausible. Deepthink is designed to fix that once and for all. So what is deepthink? The best way to picture it is like a brilliant detective. Instead of just jumping to the first, most obvious conclusion, the detective meticulously explores every possible scenario, weighs all the evidence, and only then reveals the solution. That's deepthink in a nutshell. It's like an internal monologue for the AI, a way for it to challenge its own assumptions and get to a much more solid, reliable answer. But is that just a fancy name, or does it actually deliver? Oh, it delivers. The proof, as they say, is in the pudding. Just look at these results from the GPQA Diamond benchmark. Now, this is not your average high school science test. This is a PhD-level exam that trips up even human experts. And yet, look at that. Gemini 3 Pro just nails it with a score of 91.9%, leaving its top competitor in the dust. This is what happens when an AI doesn't just answer, it thinks. But wait, it gets even crazier. When they gave Gemini 3 the ability to use code as a tool, so it could basically build its own little experiments to test its theories, it did something pretty much unheard of. It got a perfect 100% on one of the hardest math exams in the world. This isn't just an AI that's good at math. This is an AI that is learning to think like a scientist. So we've seen that it can think, but can it actually create? Okay, now we're entering a whole new dimension. Gemini 3 isn't just some tool for hardcore programmers anymore. It's becoming a creative partner that's about to blow the doors wide open on who can build software. Get ready for a new term you're gonna hear a lot: vibe coding. This is a totally new way of thinking about software. You don't need to be a coding genius to build an app anymore. Instead of writing all this complex code, you just describe the vibe of what you want. It's like telling a chef, make me something that tastes like summer. You don't need to know the recipe, you just describe the feeling you're after. This is an absolute game changer for creativity. But can it handle the boring stuff too? Let's talk about the long game. This chart shows the results of a year-long business simulation where the AI had to run a virtual vending machine empire. And as you can see, Gemini 3 Pro didn't just do well, it absolutely crushed the competition, pulling in nearly 4 times the revenue. This isn't about quick wins. This is about strategic, long-term planning. This is an AI that can actually run a business. So what happens when this kind of power gets baked into the tools we use every single day? And now for the bombshell. We're about to witness the end of an era. You know that iconic, simple list of 10 blue links on the Google search page? Yeah, it's about to go the way of the dinosaur. This slide just captures the whole shift perfectly. The Google of the past was like a map that showed you where to find treasure. The Google of the future, it's the treasure chest, and it opens right there in front of you. It's not a passive guide anymore. It's an active creator that builds the tools and solutions you need on the spot. Just imagine this. You're planning a trip to Rome. Instead of digging through dozens of travel blogs and booking sites, you just type 3-day trip to Rome into Google. And bam, instantly, a beautiful, interactive itinerary just appears, complete with a map of the best sites, restaurant ideas, and even a link to book your flights and hotel. This isn't science fiction, people. This is the future of search. So what are the huge takeaways from this new reality?
So what does this all add up to? When you put it all together, what does it really mean? Let's break down the 3 key strategic conclusions from this new age of agentic AI. Here are the 3 things you absolutely need to remember. First, agency is the new currency. The AI that can do the most wins, period. Second, the golden cage. Google is making its ecosystem so powerful and so cheap that businesses will pretty much have no choice but to build their future inside it. And third, the final frontier. By controlling search and mobile, Google is making sure they are the ultimate gatekeeper to our digital lives.
And so, that leaves us with a question that's both super exciting and, let's be honest, a little terrifying. We are right on the edge of a world where AI isn't just a tool, but a partner, a collaborator, maybe even a decision maker in our lives. The genie is well and truly out of the bottle, and the only question that's left is, are we ready for what comes next?